Hello, hey friends. Let me just make this video. I haven't done a video in so long, and it's just time to make one. So if you read the title, the reason I'm making this video is I'm pregnant. And the crazy part is, yes, we have been on a fertility journey and we've been doing IVF. It was a couple years ago, and we were actually planning on eventually transferring our embryo, one embryo, and we never got there because a lot of stuff has been going on in our life, a move, renovations, family stuff, but we got spontaneously pregnant at 44. I just turned 44, my husband just turned 48, and we got spontaneously, just naturally pregnant, and that is so crazy. And I haven't told anybody really that I'm pregnant, just like my mom and really close family, obviously my husband, but I'm dying to tell somebody. And so I wanted to come on here and I wanted to document it, and I want to talk about how I got pregnant naturally, like why I got pregnant, how I got pregnant, and just our pregnancy experiences and our journey so far, and also just doctor's appointments we've gone to and like where we are, just to document it and have it. Another reason why is because honestly, I haven't announced it to really anybody. I've announced it to a couple of people who have also gone through like IVF and who've been supportive and who kind of knew we were trying, like a couple of closer friends, even people who weren't like super close, but who were like supportive during our IVF stuff and our infertility stuff and knew about it, and who were like praying for us. And I don't know, I haven't announced it. So I am 11 weeks tomorrow, and so we know we're still a little bit early. And my thing is that even though we're only 11 weeks, I've known since 5 weeks. So that means I've known for 6 weeks, which is a month and a half. And I've gone on several appointments, and I found my OB, and that took a little while. And the thing is that I've definitely been trying not to stress it about the little things. And I've definitely been trying to enjoy like every moment of being pregnant for the first time after like so long. And I don't want to cry. I'm emotional. I have a lot of estrogen right now, but I just want to document it because if anything, God forbid, does happen, because I know reality, you know, like I'm older, I'm still in the first trimester, and like hopefully like the baby's healthy now, but like I know anything could happen, and it's just God's will at this point. But and there's like nothing else I can do besides all the things I'm doing, which I'll talk about. But I just want there to be a record of this baby because like it's been 6 weeks. I'm very pregnant, okay? Like I need air. I feel like I'm a little winded, like even though I'm only, I need a fan. I'm, like I said, I'm only 11 weeks, but I'm hot, and I already feel like heavy. I have a little bumping, and I'm definitely emotional. We'll talk about symptoms and stuff, but let's just talk about how I got pregnant. So I'm just gonna tell you a little bit. If you know anything about me, this is my first like pregnancy. We have had some like my eyebrows look ridiculous right now. I don't know what is going on with them, but we have had in 2020, it was right before my husband's father passed away, which was so sad because we were so happy that we were pregnant. All that happened was I took a P test in October of 2020. It was positive. It was a light line. And then by my first appointment, which was like a week later, my HCG was like, it was super low. I think it was like maybe like, it might've been something like 57. And then by like 2 days later, it was like 9. So it was what they considered like a chemical pregnancy. So I can't really count it. I was like kind of pregnant for like a week. But with this one, it was like very pregnant, obviously from the jump. I was like very pregnant, and I've never been very pregnant. I've only been mildly. That was it, that one time, you know what I mean? So, and my husband and I got married in 2013. So 11 years, you guys. We have been trying for 11 years. And granted, there were several years at the beginning that I didn't track, I didn't really try, but we weren't preventing, and it just never happened. And then as I got older, like 36, because we got married, I was 33. By 36, I was like, what's going on? It's getting a little more urgent. And then by 38, it was like appointments to try to figure it out. And then by 40, it was like IVF. And 41 was our first egg retrieval. And we had a really hard time with the egg retrieval. And you can watch the previous videos if you want to see our journey. But basically, we basically did 3 rounds. The middle one got canceled. So even though I took the meds and everything, we had to cancel it. And so we did 2 egg retrievals. On the first one, we retrieved 1 egg, and that 1 egg made it all the way through fertilization and maturity. And I guess it's more like it has to mature, then it has to fertilize. And then it grew into a blast, and then we had it tested, and it came back a perfect girl, like totally free of any kind of like, no mosaic, no kind of like trisomies, nothing, just like a perfect little girl. And we did another round, but we had to cancel it because my body wasn't cooperating. And then we did another round after that, and it resulted in retrieval. And we were really, really hopeful because we had like 4, what looked to be 4, what is the word? 4, it looked to be like 4, I forget the name, it's been a minute. 4 little pockets where there potentially were eggs, you know what I mean? What are those called? I forget, but sorry. And then we only retrieved 2 eggs out, but we were still hopeful because 2 is twice as much as 1. And then 1 wouldn't mature, done, and the next one did not fertilize. So it was kind of a rough go. It was expensive, we paid out of pocket. And we honestly started, there was, number one, I was extremely afraid to transfer my girl because it was my one and only, and it was mine. And then it's emotional, you guys. I am so emotional right now from being pregnant. Like I can't even talk about it. But sorry. Started having we had conversations about potentially using donor eggs because they would still be my husband's, they just would not be biologically mine, which I was okay with. Like I was at peace with it. Like I was fine with it. Like we really wanted to have biological children, but this way it would be 50% biological and it would be okay. So we honestly, this January, we almost purchased a huge cohort of eggs because we still want to try to have a family. And I know I don't want just one baby, and that was like one of the number one problems because I didn't want just one. So we were going to try to do a cohort of like 24 donor eggs, which would have cost not that much, honestly, a little chunk. And once we had a chunk of eggs, we knew they wouldn't all develop, but we wanted also to try to have an option between boy or girl, maybe. So we were gonna try to do that, and then it just didn't happen. There was a few like runaround things, like there were just a few little things that we were kind of like, oh God, we have to do that. Like we have to do this. Like my husband would have to travel up to get genetic testing and stuff like that. And so eventually we just kind of said like, you know what, let's just hold off on this. Like something just didn't, we just said, you know, let's just wait. And then we decided, you know what, let's just go ahead and try for our girl. And in January, at the same time, we were considering the donor eggs. My husband, when we were renewing like our health insurance for the year, we decided that we needed like extra paternity, like hospital stay, like insurance, because we knew we were gonna try to get pregnant in 2024 because we were gonna go get our daughter. So my husband's birthday was March, end of March, and then my birthday is mid-April, and we fell pregnant right in between the two. Literally like exact, if you count the days. And I didn't know I was pregnant. And the thing of it is we were I was super stressed. I do not know how I actually got pregnant, And honestly, if you knew all of the things that we've gone through, the myriad of things, like the number of intense things we did to try to get pregnant, like basically I'm the kind of person, like I don't leave a stone unturned. Like if I want something, I'm gonna definitely give it my all. And what I mean by that is, we didn't just do IVF. You know, IVF is in vitro fertilization, but we went above and beyond. And when I say above and beyond, I mean, if you've ever read It Starts With the Egg, if you've ever watched any of my other videos, like I read It Starts With the Egg, and when I tell you my supplements list was I had a habit tracker type thing with like just a supplement tracker basically. I went above and beyond It Starts With the Egg. Like if you take everything on It Starts With the Egg, and I'm talking like it's a list of supplements, and then you add in more. Like I took human growth hormone to try to get pregnant, like a daily shot. I was taking like ubiquinol like 4 times a day because I know I can only absorb like 200 milligrams at a time. Like I was doing extreme, like not extreme, it's as extreme as it can get, like for natural, to keep my egg health, to fall naturally pregnant. I was doing ovulation tests every single day, and if there was like LH even remotely could be a surge, I would do it several times in the day, and I would literally save every one and have like charts so I could figure it out. Because if I can figure it out, like I can do anything, right? Like I'm definitely one of those like go-getter types. Like I'm gonna figure it out. Pregnancy was one I couldn't. I felt like honestly like my body like skipped that class that day. Like my body, like when it was created, like it just didn't take the like get pregnant class. And like my body just could not figure it out. And like if my body can't figure it out, my brain can figure it out. But my brain, like no matter what I did, and when I tell you that we did so many IUIs, and not only IUIs, but we got so good at them. Like there are ways that like people who are like lesbians, how they get pregnant. There's like at-home insemination kits where they use donor sperm, and we even tried that. Like it's literally like an insemination kit, like giant pipettes like into the cervix, like direct sample. And my husband had been tested and I had been tested. My fallopian tubes were clear. I know I have like PCOS, but it's like different. I don't ever get like cysts. I also always was told it's my weight, so I lost like 150 pounds. I needed to lose the weight regardless. I just at the time didn't realize how big I was, but I was pretty large. I lost massive amounts of weight and kept it off for like 5 years. There's nothing I didn't do. Even like the weight loss, it wasn't for really vanity. I didn't even really know I was as big as I was. I was fine. Like I mentally, like I was just like accepted. I'd been fat my whole life. So like it wasn't like a big deal. I'm still like chunky, like moderate chunky, like mid-size, I guess. Like I'm like a 14, 16. And I'm happy with that because I've been like a 24, 26 my whole life. So lost a lot of weight for me. So I did a lot of extreme things, weight loss surgery. I did other surgeries like for diagnostic purposes, like to like blow dye through your fallopian tubes. I also had like a invasive, like they go in to your body with like cameras and make sure that you don't have like endometriosis around your uterus, silent endometriosis as it's called. Like they tested everything, like there was no reason. And one of the reasons my husband and I tried doing the in vitro thing, not in vitro, tried doing the IUI, the intrauterine insemination at home and at the office, was because we figured maybe there was something like my body wasn't liking his sperm, and it was just like, it was just not matching, and my body was like killing it off, like literally fighting. That's a thing. And it's a whole lot. I'm not gonna get too deep into it, but basically, we even did a lot of natural other cycles, like medicated natural cycles. And what I mean by that is we've done massive amounts of letrozole, Clomid, and even combos, and very high dosage and very moderate dosage. And the weird thing is that nothing ever worked. And I can't remember when my last dose was. Kind of want to ask my sister because her and I were talking about it when I did my last ditch effort. Was like a Clomid letrozole combo cocktail with HCG and all kinds of crazy stuff, and all the supplements, like every supplement you can imagine. Gag, like it was so much, like it was a literal full-time job just trying to get pregnant, and it was a lot. So what happened was we ended up moving to Texas. We were still trying to get pregnant in Texas. We were still trying. There were still medicated rounds. We didn't do any more IVF. We didn't do any more IUIs, but we did do medicated rounds with letrozole and Clomid and stuff like that. All unsuccessful. And like I said, I think my last like real try was, it was before, I want to say it was before Thanksgiving, because around Thanksgiving what happened was we had to help out some family, and my husband's sister, we didn't foster like through the foster care system, it was nothing like that, but we were basically fostering because they were going through, her and her husband had many children, 5, and they were going through a pretty tumultuous divorce that was pretty like heartbreaking for the family. Like, no shade to her, but it was a lot. And she had an infant. And at first we took the kids, all of the kids at different times, but we kept the infant. And the reason we did it was because she had custody, and it was just really hard for her to like sell her house and like do all the things that she had to do to get the divorce, and like relocate to an apartment, and very small apartment, and not really unpacking. So it made it like almost like an unsafe like environment. Plus it was really hard. It was literally like 2.5 hours to just drop off 5 kids at school, just to drop them off in a carpool line, and then 2.5 hours to pick them up. So there's 5 hours a day, and she needs to find employment. So it was just really, really challenging. So we had the baby full time since right around Thanksgiving, maybe full time after Christmas, the baby. But I think we met the baby right before Thanksgiving, and I just met the baby just before Thanksgiving, and he was about 16 to 18 months, and we got him around 18 months because I remember he was like in a 24 months close. And yeah, we had the baby every single day. He had a daycare. His mom provided him with daycare for me so I could still do work and stuff, but he was walking, but he was not talking. And I had him from December, then January, February, March, April, May, almost to June. So he eventually went to go with his dad. He needed to go with his dad. I was like far too tired and pregnant. And the thing was, it wasn't just the baby. I also had the other kids. So it was like taking up my whole day, was just kids. It was just getting them up, getting them to school. The truth of it is that I've done the renovation to the house. We renovated this house. It's still in process. We don't have cabinet pulls here. Like we're gonna put new countertops and stuff. This is just temporary for now. But it was really stressful doing the renovation, but the kids were way more stressful, to the point where you literally, there was no time for you to think or for you to have a feeling. Like you literally were so mentally exhausted from 5 kids. Like you couldn't, I had 0 time. Like I couldn't feel a feeling if I wanted to. Like I was too absorbed into taking care of these kids. I didn't take a single supplement. I wasn't really going to the gym per se. Like I was kind of going and tanning, and I was like occasionally getting on a spin bike or going for a walk or something like that. But I wasn't like part of like a studio where I went every single day or 4 days a week. I felt like I was like slacking, although I was working a lot physically because of the renovation. But for those like last 6 months, I wasn't really working out regularly. I wasn't taking any supplements really. I took a few, like I always do something, right? So I was taking like probably like some apple cider vinegar gummies, melatonin once in a while. I was taking like this hair, nail, skin, like really expensive supplement from Elemis, which is a skincare line, probably some daily stuff. I just had like a little like bin in my kitchen. I would just reach in and like grab a couple. I had this adrenal support one from Wealthy. My daily woman supplement was from Wealthy, and my Elemis hair, nail, skin. But really that was it. And it was just really intermittent. Like I would just take one once in a while. But I'm pretty decent at taking it. So even that was like nothing for me because I was so used to taking like a bombardment. If you've been infertile before and you've been struggling with fertility, you know, and if you're the kind of person who goes above and beyond, you know what I'm talking about. Like, it is exhausting swallowing those pills. It is a literal job just remembering to take this like a massive quantity of supplements. So that was that. So I was super stressed, super busy. I couldn't even think about fertility. And honestly, the little baby I was raising, his name was Emerson, and he was a sweet, sweet baby, but he had a lot of, I love him to death. He was a miserable baby though. He literally woke up crying, and he was very attached. He had a lot of attachment stuff going on. So he would literally have to like, I couldn't get up to go pee. He would sit on my lap while I peed, like, and he was almost 2, and he literally would just scream every morning, like, but we worked on it, you know, we worked on words. He got a lot of vocabulary. He started, you know, saying things like done and eat and all done and more, and he was getting better. But it was a lot carrying him around, and yeah. So that's what I was doing. Wasn't taking the normal supplements I normally take. I was not trying. And to tell you the honest to God truth, we barely had sex because we had a baby in the bed. Our house here is a lot smaller than our old house. Our old house was like 3,400 square feet with like 3 living rooms, like a media room, a basement with a family room, like big living room, 5 bedrooms. We had plenty of room at our old house for all these kids. This house, we had no room. This house is about 1,400 square feet, and we have 3 small bedrooms. One of them is our bedroom. The other one in the middle is my closet because I can't fit all of my clothes unless I use a whole bedroom. And then the other bedroom right now is a office that has my stuff and my husband's stuff. And then it's like living in an apartment. It's a very small house. It's great. It's a good downsize. We're gonna make it work. We're just, you know, minimizing. But the baby slept in our bed. And then when all of the other kids were here, we had to buy a hotel cot, like the kind of the hotel, like the extra bed that folds out, for the one little boy who wet the bed. And then the 17-year-old, he slept in my closet in like a little cot, like not like a cot, like a fold out, like actual twin mattress, you know? So he could have a little bit of space. So, and the other one slept on a couch. So yeah, that's 5. So we didn't have any room. It was really tight. And so the baby slept with us. So we didn't really get it in. We were lucky if we did the baby dance like 1 day a month. So I don't know how we got pregnant, but we did. And I also was vaping like there was no tomorrow. And I was drinking probably 2 quad shots on ice daily from Starbucks. And honestly, that was like my main food groups. And I was just vaping like a chimney, and I vaped a lot. And I was definitely hooked on that thing. And yeah, I will say my eating is decent. It's always been decent. I don't really like fried foods. I don't really like too much sweet things. I was eating for surgery, like I never overdid it. And then what happened was, this was probably a pregnancy sign, but I didn't know it. What happened was, in like the first couple of weeks of April, like just like the first, like between day 5 of April, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever, I was hungry. I was so unbelievably hungry. And I got really hungry all of a sudden for like 1 whole week. I was just like, oh, I'm starving. And I wanted to eat things I normally didn't want to eat. And I was like, not today, Satan. And I went to a med spa and I went on Ozempic. I went on Ozempic on April the 11th. And then I found out I was pregnant on April the 26th. So I think I did like 3 shots of Ozempic. I was like on the lowest dose, like 0.25. And it made me not hungry. So I was like, yeah, I'm not hungry. My brother came down to visit for the week of my birthday, which is mid-April. And I drank wine and I vaped a lot. We went on some trips to like Austin and stuff. We thought I live in Houston now. So we went to go see Joe Rogan and stuff. And yeah, I just was like, life as usual. But I remember I got really hungry. Like probably the first couple weeks I was pregnant, and I didn't know it. And I went on Ozempic and I was like, not today. I didn't know where this like massive hunger came from. And then also around the time my brother came, I started getting like period cramps. And so my period hadn't come. I think my period was late, and like I got my period cramps. Honestly, to tell you the truth, I don't really think I got a period in March. Like the doctors claim, they have a, like they ask you like, what's the last date of your last period? They've calculated to be like March 21, but I don't think I got a period in March. I think the last time I actually got a real period was in February. And I just remember missing it in March, even though the doctor says the first day of my last period was March 21 based on the calculation. And my period's usually every 28 days. Like I didn't get one in like March, I don't think. If I did, I was just so busy I didn't notice it and didn't mark it in my app. But I do remember thinking my period's late. It's really, really late. And then I remember saying like, well, it's menopause. I'm probably in menopause, right? So when my birthday came around and I didn't have my period, I was thinking menopause. And then I was thinking, well, maybe my period is just messing up, but maybe Ozempic's making it come back, because I started getting like some light period cramps. Like usually I might get like a couple light little twangs, like a couple days, like 1 or 2 days before I start my period. So I was like, oh great, I'm gonna get my period, my brother's here and I'm gonna be traveling and in the swimming pool and everything. So I never got my period. My brother was here the whole mid-April. Like I never got my period. Had my birthday, never got my period. And there's still a couple of little cramps. Like I remember getting in the truck and my brother was with me, my little brother. And I was like, I'm gonna get my period. I can feel it. I have cramps. And just little twangs, nothing major, but I could feel it. And that usually means my period's coming. And the other thing that happened, I don't know the exact day. I should probably look it up. But I wonder, like, when you, like, I'm a figure out the mystery type of chick, you know what I mean? Like, there's always a reason. I got treated for flu, and it was either end of March or beginning of April before my birthday. And I think the baby gave it to me. And I went to the CVS Minute Clinic and they tested me and they gave me an antiviral and they gave me promethazine. I barely took the promethazine. It took like 1 day. But I took that antiviral. I wonder if that didn't help me get pregnant. I wonder if there's not something in the congestion of my uterus, of my whatever. And I don't know, but it's worth mentioning because like, it's like a mystery, right? It's like a murder mystery. Like we have to know all the data. So I took an antiviral, and it's weird because I do know, the reason why I bring that up is because if you've done IVF, you do know that when you get your egg transfer, they have different protocols. And one of them is called the antihistamine protocol. And when you do the antihistamine protocol, because they have different ones, right? They have the anti-inflammatory protocol, the whatever, and they have one called the antihistamine. If you want to know more, you can go on the CNY website. CNY is the Central New York Fertility Clinic that I went to with Dr. Robert Kiltz. There's an antihistamine protocol, and what you take, and I actually was on this when they did my egg retrieval also, but you get an antiviral, they give you some kind of antiviral. They give you, these are all antihistamine though. Antiviral, they give you like a Pepcid, a Claritin, and a prednisone, and I think there's one other one, but it basically prevents your body from fighting getting pregnant and from fighting creating eggs. So I know for sure they give you, when you do the egg transfer, they can put you on the antihistamine protocol. Then there's also, like I said, the anti-inflammatory, and they have like, if you have like the NT killer cells or whatever, they have another one for that. So anyways, I was on an antiviral, so maybe that's what I needed to keep my body from fighting me from getting pregnant. So maybe my body has just been fighting me from getting pregnant my whole life because of whatever. So who knows? It's just worth mentioning, I think. So I was very stressed. I could not think straight. I was very preoccupied with this baby. And honestly, there were moments while raising this baby that I had thoughts that I never thought my entire life before. Thoughts like, well, I guess God knew what he was doing when he didn't let me get pregnant because I don't need this shit. There were thoughts like, I wanted this? No. I will just stay baby free and have a great life because it's a lot. It was a lot. I mean, this baby did not sleep through the night, okay? And I'm 44, waking up at 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning with a fussy little toddler. Like he was probably 20 months or so, and I'm just having to like, huge baby, right? Just like, oh God, and he's just for hours, and like waking my husband up, and it was a lot, and like, it was a lot. And I just would have these thoughts like, you know what? God knew what he was doing. I'm better off. Like, I don't need this. Like, I'm good. Like, life is good. I wanted this. This is what I wanted. And so I had these moments, and I'm going to tell you a couple more little things, and then I'm going to have to do a part 2. But what I will say is the day I found out I was pregnant, and I shit you not, I was at Ross because my husband and I were going to go to a comedy show, and I needed an outfit a few days after my birthday, and it was the 26th of April, a Friday, and I was shopping. I just went to Ross, and I was looking for something to wear, something cute for a date night for Sunday, and I happened to go near the maternity section, and there was this really cute cream colored crew neck hoodie, like crew neck sweatshirt, and it said Mama Established 2024. And I don't really ever look at maternity clothes, I'm not like that, but I wanted that sweatshirt, and I really almost bought it. It was only $10, and I really came this close to buying it because I was like, well, I should get it. I'm done. I'm gonna do my transfer. I can get this. Like, I'm probably gonna do my transfer later, like October, November, but like, I should get it. I literally picked it up, and I literally almost got it. I had no clue that I was pregnant. It didn't even dawn on me, but this shirt just stood out. It was cream colored. It had black writing, Mama. I think the Mama part was like those iron-on, like carpety looking things, like when you see those bags that say like stuff and like snacks and travel or whatever. It was like that, and then underneath it said Established 2024. I should have got it. Fuck. But anyways, that happened, and then I still had that little bit of cramp going on, and I don't remember why I took a test, but I remember that happened, and then I came home. There was something else I was going to mention too, and I think I'm forgetting it, but I might remember it. But I came home from shopping, and let me tell you about my day. Let me tell you about the day that I found I was pregnant. Okay? Quad shot on ice in a venti cup with half and half, and then like 3 pumps sugar-free vanilla, 3 pumps white mocha, and then took the kids to school for 2.5 hours, and then went back to Starbucks, got another one, and then I was vaping like crazy in the car, went tanning, went shopping. No, oh yeah, no, I think I went shopping. Then I went to go pick up the high schooler. Then I went and took him tanning. Then we went and got a 7 Brew, like giant energy drink with like Red Bull. It was called like the Blue Breeze or something like that, Bay Breeze or something. And sitting there sucking down an energy drink, hadn't eaten any food, just like umpteen zillion milligrams of caffeine, and had to go get the other kids and stuff and go home and cook them dinner. And I came home and I still had my energy drink. I hadn't only drank in like this much. And I don't know why, but I peed on a stick. Like, I peed on a pregnancy test. And I remember, and this is what I was gonna say, I'm remembering now. I remember for the first time in my life when I peed on that stick, I remember my literal actual thought in that moment, and I fucking meant it. And I said, and I meant it, because usually every time I peed on that stick, I was like, please be pregnant, please be pregnant, please be pregnant, please be pregnant. And this is the first time I peed on that stick, and I didn't give a shit if I was pregnant. First time. I'm gonna cry thinking about it, but I literally didn't care anymore. Like, I was so tired, and I was so mommed out already. And I just said, literally in my head, I was like, if it's your will, God, cool, but don't care anymore. And I shit you not when I tell you that that fucking first line lit up so bright that I thought it was the second line. It was so bright. It was a dye stealer. It was just like that first line lit up so hard that I thought it was the freaking second line. I thought there was no first line. I thought it was just like a little bit askew. That first line lit up like a mofo. It was brighter than the second line. The second line was dull. The first line was like dye stealer. I immediately repeat as much as I could, like a few drops out into another cup. And then I tested like both cups. Like, I did like 2 more sticks, and they both were the same. It was a dye stealer. Like, I couldn't believe it. The first thing I did was call my husband, and I said, are you sitting down? And told him I was pregnant, and I sent him the picture. and he couldn't believe it, obviously. But the thing is, I never thought I was gonna ever be able to ever call my husband and tell him I was pregnant. Like, I just didn't think that was in our cards. Like, I just didn't think it could ever happen. Like, I just didn't believe it. I just thought we were gonna be the people that went to go do the transfer, and like, there's a good chance we leave one embryo, like, we would not have kids. And you know, it's still early, but holy shit, it is literally overwhelming. People get pregnant every day. Like, it's gonna be okay. Like, it's okay. But it's just like, I'm 44, my husband's 48. Like, this is such a blessing, and I'm so happy to be pregnant. And I just want to like have like a, like, God forbid anything happened, like this baby was here, you know what I mean? And he was, you know, I don't want to, like, if something, God forbid, does happen and he doesn't go full term, like, nobody would ever know, you know? So I want to make sure, like, there is a story of like his existence or hers. I'm just super emotional because I'm pregnant. But I'm gonna make a part 2. I'm gonna tell you about the visits, my stats, and the progesterone I'm taking right now, and like everything. And yeah, so thanks for listening. I'm gonna come back in a minute. Thanks.